I just always wanted to know, do men feel that internal sense of gratification from being a stand-up? Hey y'all, welcome back to the Renaissance Room podcast. And in today's episode, I'm just gonna kind of like blatantly say it because I just don't even want to beat around the bush with this. I'm sick and tired of black men not loving themselves. I said it, there I am. And I think the biggest thing is just like, I don't know, I think that what I'm seeing is like, I feel like black men are more so gravitating towards like the self-care rituals and the aesthetic of like self-love, which is perpetuated by women. And it's more so all about like the external. And I think that will never truly give you like self-love. And I'm not really sure if a woman can teach you self-love. Possibly. I mean, I think that she can show like appreciation and like, but I don't really know if she can like teach you self-love. And I was sitting here thinking to myself just about like how hard it is to deal with anybody who's insecure, because it's like an empty bucket, like no matter what you give, it's always going to fall through. And I think that we live in a time and space today where I just feel like men have kind of lost that essence that like makes them. We hear about the incels on the podcast who, talk about women in a very derogatory and like demeaning way. But underlying what they're saying is like, we wish that we had an opportunity to protect and to provide. And we wish that, that was something that was modeled to us, So there's a deep rooted sense of inadequacy there, I think. But that's not the point of this episode. But yeah, I think that, men really overlook certain like professions and like technical skills and like, carpentry and things like that. I think that there is nothing that's more attractive than like a man who can build a house. Honey, I was working at my last internship and I just knew, girl, this is why I say like for me, it's one of those things where it's like, I hear y'all loud and clear, but personally, I just feel like when it comes to like manifestations and all that stuff, like I just feel like it's God's plan. Because honey, I was trying to manifest me a construction worker. Yes, I was. Come over here with them boots, honey, with them steel toe boots and them ashy hands. Hello, but no, seriously. And I think, that sometimes hypersexuality is oftentimes misinterpreted as like admiration. And, so I think that men really miss out on the opportunity to love themselves. I think another thing too that I think could really help with men loving themselves is just kind of recognizing like when you're like 99% of people, right? So like if most men are cheaters and you want to fall into that 99, like, I don't know, I just wonder, like, do men not get any internal gratification from being a stand-up? Like, it's rare when you see it, and it's almost rare when you even meet a dude like this. But like, I remember my grandma was telling me about a guy who she grew up with and how he used to run with her and her friends, and like, he was in a neighborhood, but like he wasn't a neighborhood type of dude. Like he just didn't really mess with nobody. Like, he was very respectable of like women and stuff like that. And like, he helped her through some hard times or whatever. And like, he's married now. But she was just saying like, he wasn't that type of guy. And like, I just feel like that's so attractive. Like to meet a man who's part of the 1% that's like a stand-up. I don't know. I think a lot of men would benefit from that, that internal sense of validation from just being a man of like integrity and being like a stand-up dude, like who's like rare and honest and like genuine, like that feels good. Like I ain't gonna lie, y'all, it feel good to be real. Like it feel good to be real. It feel good to be a kind person. It feels good to be a good-hearted person and to like know yourself. That right there is just like you're radiating with love. I also think too, God is love. So I think if you have a loving relationship with God and like where your spirit is at, then you get this. But yeah, I'm definitely growing tired of men not loving themselves, and because I think it makes it very hard to deal with anybody who doesn't love themselves. It's hard to deal with people who don't love themselves. Like I said, it's like pouring water into a bucket that has no bottom. And I know we live in a very shallow age today, but like I said, man, I don't know, I just feel like those technical skills and like, I don't know, like those things that just kind of make men like manly and like, like, I don't know, it's very attractive. And like I said, I think that men would get a lot of gratification from just being a part of the 1%ers. Be the guy who's different. Like, do something different. Why you want to be like all these other dudes who just like players? I met a lot of guys who were really good guys. I can discern that, but their actions, obviously, I wasn't going to play the fool. But like, you can just tell that they were trying to be like bad boys, but they really weren't. And one of the things that men don't know is that women also have to go through the process of like, knowing what a good guy is, just how men are like shallow and like superficial, chasing big butts and, pretty girls and all this other stuff. And there's nothing wrong with being a pretty girl. I'm a pretty girl, but, just like overcoming the shallow stuff. I think that women also have to go through that. This is a little bit like similar to what I'm not in contrast, but in similarity to what I'm saying. I remember I was I'm going to tell the story because it's kind of funny. I was in the 7th grade and I was, there was this guy whose locker was next to me. And at this point, he's a boy. I can't even say guy or girl. He was a boy at this point. We were kids. But I thought he was so cute. And I just thought he was so nice to me. Like, he was just such a sweet dude. Like, he was smart and like, he was kind of like, he was cool. He was quirky like me. And, I remember telling my friends, like, I really got a crush on this dude. Like, I think he's just so nice and he's just so sweet and whatever. And my friends was clowning me. They was like, oh my God, you got a crush on him? Like, he's corny, he's this, he's that. And I was like, dang, like, okay, you're young. I mean, at this point, I'm a kid. Like, come on, 7th grade, because we're mad young. And she just talked to such and such. So this guy was like he was a popular dude. Honey, that little boy broke my heart. He would literally break up with me every time my mom would like take me to the dentist's office or something. I would come back and my friends would be texting me like, yeah, such and such was in the hallway holding another girl's hand and blah, blah, blah. And like, yeah, honey, that's the start of it. And so I thought that was just kind of funny. I just wanted to share that. But I think like overall, I just think that it's one of those things where it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like I would just love to see men just being men and just loving that they're men and not all this hurt and projection, trying to find someone to catch that, trying to make someone else responsible for what you didn't have. Because I just don't think that it's not a matter of women don't have it. I think that Black people in general, we're deprived of so much. We're deprived of community. We're deprived of healthy relationships, because I just don't think that we've just, not many of us have been allotted the tools and the resources. And so I don't really think this is a matter of like placing the blame on anyone, but I think that it's a matter of just like, I don't know, like I just think that we gotta grow up, and I think men have to grow up, and I think that men have to just take responsibility for their lives and take their wounds and the things they've been through in stride and make a message out of it, turn your mess into a message and let God use you as a testimony. I birthed a nonprofit out of my childhood trauma, honey. And I think that it's one of those things where you leave it where it's at, I think life is life, right? And I think that sometimes we have feelings and we have emotions and we have things that come up and it's life, but I just don't think that we are defined by our upbringing, in which we were once a victim to, you were a child, you were a victim, right? But I think that we grow older and it's like, hey, we get to decide what we want for ourselves. And so I don't have the answers for men loving themselves. I think it's a matter of, it's an internal thing. Love the fact that you're a nice guy. Love the fact that you're a kind person. Love the fact that you got a good heart. Love the fact that, you love what you love. I love my personality. I love that I love books. I love that I love the way I speak. I love my interests. I love when I'm vulnerable. I don't know. I love my sense of courage. I just love those things about me. And I think you can start there, and it starts internal, and that goes for everyone. I think it's a little bit more than just consumerism. It's a little bit more than just going to the gym and making sure that the outside is nice and pretty. It's like, sit with yourself. Love the fact that you stutter, love, and love the fact that you have that lisp, girl or boy, love that you're good at math. Love that you like science. Love that, I don't know, whatever your thing is, love that about you, and love that you're a good person. I think that's probably one of the biggest things. I think that really drives men to hate themselves. I think that from society's messages and the perpetuation of Black men being aggressive and toxic and all these things, I think it makes it hard for them to love themselves. And so I think when you fall into that can be kind of tough, so it's like you have to define yourself on your own terms, and you have to love the fact that you're strong, like take stride in your strength. Like, what me personally, I've always kind of been the type of person to where I've always kind of differentiated, like I have a big personality. I've always been hardworking my whole life. I was raised to be that way, but I've always kind of had this ability to kind of like just chill with my partners, like not just kind of be, and I don't want to say partners like plural, but like if I'm in a relationship, like I'm just somebody completely different. And I think that, I think that's kind of where like life and balance and harmony kind of comes in, because you can't always be macho man, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. And I don't know. I think that everyone needs a haven. I think it doesn't have to be in a relationship, but like just find your thing. I personally think that relationships, I don't know. That's going to be a conversation for a whole nother day, because I don't really get it. I mean, I think you should have a season. You should have time to know yourself, but I don't know, to be honest. I got a whole different opinion on that, but I don't want to go too far left. But I just think that, love your strength, take pride in that. And, I don't think that men need to be sitting around all day talking about their feelings. I don't really think that, people say like, oh, men aren't wired for that, but I don't know. I think therapy is a beautiful outlet. I think that, I don't know, like other outlets. I don't know. Listen, I'm not here to negate the fact that men have emotions. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is I think that we're kind of trying to create this culture of men who just sit around and like talk about their feelings all day, or who are expected to just like sit around and talk about their feelings all day. I don't really think that's what men were like wired to do. I don't know. I think just like spiritually and like, I don't know. I think we're kind of wired a little different, and I think it's for the betterment of us, But that's another conversation for another day. I just want to see Black men loving themselves, because honestly, it's like I said, it's very hard to deal with a person who doesn't love themselves. And I think it's just a matter of like have pride, baby. Have pride in your intelligence. Have pride in your sense of integrity. Have pride in the work that you do. Regardless of whatever it is that you do, whether you work in the medical field, whether you work in mechanics, whether you're a barber, whether you're, a scientist, like it doesn't really matter, whether you're a carpenter, like whether you're an electrician, like take pride in that, and I think that men need to realize, like, I don't know, because I'm not a man, and I can't really like speak to manhood, and I don't really know the propaganda that's being sold to men, but I think one of the messages is like, if you make money, you can get any girl you want, or something in regards to like work and getting the pretty girl. But like, I don't know, I just think that you have to find someone who like appreciates you for you. And I just don't think it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know, I just feel like if someone doesn't like you, or if someone doesn't get you, like, you have to be able to discern whether or not this person's playing hard to get, and like she just wants to see a little bit more effort, or if she's just not into you, like, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know, man. I just think that everybody's not for everybody, and like sometimes you may be pursuing a woman who may not be into you, and I just think that, I don't know, I can't say men don't deal with rejection, because I feel like they're the ones who typically pursue, so like they're probably used to it. I don't know. I don't have advice for that. I don't even want to like try to venture off into that territory. But I'm sick of it. I'm sick of seeing it, because I think that Black women ride so hard for Black men, and I think it's even, unfortunately, a lot of times it kind of ventures into mistreatment. Black women stand with Black men who abuse them, and I'm never advocating for that, but it says a lot, and so I don't know. I think I would just love to see it in a healthy form in fashion, and not so much all this placating of like, oh, if you love yourself, that woman needs to submit to you and all this stupid stuff. Like, this is stupid. You know what I mean? And not seeing men making TikToks where they're making their bed and vacuuming their floor, making their avocado toast. Like, if you eat avocado toast, I don't really care. If you do all those things, that's great. But like, I just think self-love is just something that's internal. And I just think, I don't know. Maybe someone has to tell the brothers that everybody isn't for you. And, you got to recognize that, like, women also have to grow and evolve. We too get caught up in the propaganda. We too get caught up in the messages that are sold to us in our youth. I just told you, it started very early for me in the 7th grade, that experience, particular. But I knew, I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Ain't I supposed to be dating a nice guy? Ain't I supposed to be dating a guy who is smart and, wants to carry my whip back to class? Like, I'm so confused. Like, what, Like, why would I be dating a dude who skips class? Like, that's dumb, But hey, we live and we learn. But I don't know. And like I said, I don't want to encourage narcissism, because I definitely think that we live in an era now where it's kind of like a lot of people are narcissistic, and it's not really coming from a space of self-love. I think that love rooted in narcissism is just kind of about self. It's motivated from self, and it's really rooted in insecurity. But like self-love, I don't know, you guys. I can't stress this enough. It's just internal. You love yourself. You believe you're capable. You believe you're competent. You believe that you're enough, and you like the way you do things and how you do it. And you're not really motivated by external factors. Like, you're not, like, you're content and you're progressing and you're happy and you're beautiful and you're blissful and you're kind, and I just think that if men would join the 1%ers, and instead of trying to get into all these different other groups and spaces that just, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think, I don't know, like 1%ers is always kind of categorized as like a financial element. But I just think, I don't know, like just being a great guy and like, I don't know. I'm going to wrap this podcast up because at this point I'm rambling. But anyway, I just want you guys to build yourselves up and love yourselves, and create harmony in your lives, create harmony in your lives and build yourselves up. And I love you guys. Peace.